There's an alternative version of the Genesis 3 story. You might call it a minority report in the tradition. It's in some of the Gnostic texts, Gnostic Gospels, that began being written down in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th century. It's actually more of an idea than an actual retelling of the story. But in the minority report, the idea is that really Adam and Eve did the right thing. Seeking enlightenment was the equivalent to Prometheus stealing fire from the gods. In other words, we want our eyes to be open. We want to have the freedom of choice. We want to be able to be like God. Now, I'm not sure freedom is how I would describe the state of humans as a whole or humans individually. I would not read the history of the human race as being one of great success when it comes to this ability to discern right from wrong. I had a friend in high school. His brother rode a motorcycle. Now, I have to admit, I never owned a motorcycle. Okay? I used to love trail bikes. Okay? But it's probably a good thing I never bought a motorcycle based on my experience with trail bikes. Spent a lot of time upside down and in bushes when I was riding trail bikes. Okay? So the stakes are higher. And for a while I really wanted to get a motorcycle, but then I got too many dependents. Okay? All right. So I never, but I always, I think they're cool. I would like to have one. And my friend's brother was good at motorcycling. Right? He had a motorcycle. He rode his entire life. But he decided that he wanted a bigger bike. He always wanted a Harley, and he got a big Harley. And within a week of having the Harley, he died in an accident, a single accident. It wasn't someone else. I know so many motorcycles, it's dangerous because people can't see you. But he died because he hit some gravel, and the motorcycle was more than he could handle. Kind of tragic, isn't it a tragic illustration of what humans do with this power we have to discern? So often, it's more than we can handle. And the idea that you will be like God, in many ways, is an appealing one, right? And we also have to remember that part of the promise of the Christian faith is that you will be made like God in terms of character and eternity. But one of the great problems of trying to be God when you're not God is a matter of perspective. While I was working on my doctoral work, I did a redevelopment project in Hillsborough, New Jersey. And it was an interesting group of people. And there was this great guy. He spoke with a thick Brooklyn accent. Half the time I wish there were subtitles under what he was saying. But he was a great guy. And for some reason, he grew up in Brooklyn, but he loved the New Orleans Saints. Okay? And the New Orleans Saints were having a pretty good year. Okay, now again, if you remember your football history, they were the team that was often called the Aints. Remember, people wore bags on their head for a while. Okay, but this was a pretty good year. And one Sunday, he said to me, and I won't try to do the Brooklyn accent, but he said, "Next Sunday, New Orleans is playing in Philadelphia, and you're coming with me." All right, so we drove down after church to New Orleans. He said, "So keep it short, preacher, this week." So I even adjusted my service, and we jumped in the car. We drove down, and I asked him, "Where are our tickets?" He goes, "I don't have it." And he pulled out like a wallet of money. "We're going to scout tickets. I'm going to get the best ones possible." Okay? So, I think Mr. Stanley was the bet. So we showed up the parking lot, and obviously, you can scout tickets. And the guy goes, "I want the best tickets." He goes, "These are right in the front row." And he was so happy. He was so happy. He was so excited. And we went into the stadium, and we kept going down, closer and closer. And it was, wow, these are great seats. Except, if you remember the old bet, the seats were so couldn't see the game at all. He didn't have the right perspective of where things were, right? Okay. Front row, it's not a good idea to be in the front row. I don't know if you know the expression, the angels shared, the devil's cut. Okay, it's from the Still. Actually, it sounds really good in Italian, right? From grappa. I don't recommend drinking grappa, but it's an expression because of a very bad experience with grappa. But anyway, the experience is that what evaporates is the angel's share. But what gets absorbed in the barrel is the devil's cut. Okay? The devil will always get the devil's due. And so, it's fitting that we begin Lent with the story of the temptations of Jesus. In many ways, the temptations of Jesus embody the temptations of all the temptations of humanity. In some levels, you can reduce everything that we're confronted with to these idea of these temptations. And part of the thing is, as Christians, and Lent is to remember that what do we say at the beginning of Lent? From dust you come, from dust you shall return. So this idea, a part of how we handle the subject of temptation is to know our limitations. The temptation in the garden is that you will be like God. But human history and biblical history is one long lesson in the fact that humans are not very good at being God. So it's really interesting that the humanity of Jesus here shines through. And Jesus becomes a model of how we're to deal broadly with the temptations that we face, so that the devil does not get his cut out of our life. Now, if you've been fasting for 40 days, 40 nights, you'd be hungry. Okay? Most likely you'd be ready to eat. And on one level, why would it have been wrong for Jesus to turn stones into bread? We know that he had, Gospels portray that he had power over the material world, right? And he turned, fishes and loaves into a great feast. He did that multiple times. So why would it have been wrong for Jesus to have turned bread or stones into bread? And in many ways, this is the problem of the material world. This temptation symbolizes all the problems that we have by being creatures in the material world. John Locke said, what worries you masters you. Whatever worries you masters you. And part of the temptation we have as creatures is to constantly be worried about the things that we need in the material world. Now, if you're starving, then getting food is not a luxury, it's a necessity. If you are exposed to the elements, okay, you need to get clothing and shelter, right? And so you survive. When was the last time you almost starved? When was the last time you were in danger of freezing to death or getting heat stroke because you weren't properly covered or sheltered? Yet if you stop and think how much of our time is spent worried about what we have, what we need to accumulate, worried about stuff. It's really important to know that there is not a sacred economic theory. There is not a Christian economic theory. Now, most of the major economic and political options we have in the Western world have some inspiration from Christianity. But what is wrong with every political philosophy? What is wrong with every economic philosophy? Is ultimately they're based on making the material ultimate. Whether it's extreme Marxism or capitalism. All of them actually really believe that humans do live by bread alone. And that either the distribution or the acquiring of bread symbolically, is the most important thing. Jesus was hungry, okay? He'd just spent 40 days wrestling with God and temptation. So he, if anybody, deserved a snack, right? But Jesus never used his power for himself. And when he was extremely hungry, when he would have been justified, arguably, to have used his power, there were no convenience stores in the Judean wilderness. He reminds us that we're more than what we eat, we're more than what we earn, we're more than what we wear, we're more than where we live. The animal part of us, and the danger is that we're very evolved animals, right? So that makes us very dangerous. Things we're defined by what we acquire. But part of us that is in the image of God is reminded that that's not why we're here. It's interesting. One of my favorite C.S. Lewis works is The Hope of Glory. It's a little essay. And he says this: "It would seem that our Lord finds our desires not too strong, but too weak." Isn't that? Historical Christian morality has dealt with that. Oh, our trouble is that our desire is too much. We want too much. C.S. Lewis says that's not the problem. It would seem that our Lord finds our desires not too strong but too weak. We are half-hearted creatures, fooling about with drink and sex and ambition when infinite joy is offered us. Like an ignorant child who wants to go on making mud pies in a slum because he cannot imagine what is meant by the offer of a holiday at the sea. We are far too easily pleased. When's the last time you watched something that was supposedly a comedy, but it wasn't funny, but you kept watching? When's the last time you ate something and it was just empty calories? See, the thing about it is that's part of the problem, right? It's not that we want too much, it's that we settle for so little. And Jesus is saying, you don't have to settle, okay? You're more than an animal. We don't have to live by bread alone. We get to live by the very truth and essence of God. And then he heads up to the pinnacle of the temple. I saw someone post the other day, I dare you to find any contradictions in the Bible. Because it's Lent, I didn't respond. That's part of what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to be better. Okay? But I want to say, so I'll say it to you, why don't you go ahead and throw yourself off the pinnacle of the temple? Right? Some levels it's tempting God. The trouble with this throwing yourself off the pinnacle of the temple, this idea of presumption. It's a presumption, right? It's an idea of presumption. So somehow I'm going to challenge people to figure out what's right. And those are great ways to either dig a hole deeper into ignorance or lose your faith. Those kind of tests. And what the devil is tempting Jesus here is to take a shortcut, right? This guy was trying to take a shortcut. He wanted other people to prove that his very questionable proposition was true. In other words, he was betting his faith on the fact that no one could come up with contradictions. But the only people who can't come up with contradictions are people who don't know the Bible, which apparently is most of America. Right? So he's probably safe. But the whole point is, what is he trying to do? He was trying to reassure his faith based on an artificial prop. And the devil says, throw yourself off the pinnacle of the temple, because there was a legend at that time that the Messiah would descend from the temple. So the devil, don't worry about it. Why? You don't need to preach, you don't need to heal. Just get this thing over with. And I think this sin of presumption, at the heart is a sin of status. If the first temptation involves all the ways we deal yourself. Your identity is not found in what God has said. Your identity and worth is found how other people see you. So if you jump out of this temple, everybody will see that you're real, or see that you're the Messiah. What is the cost that we go through with some kind of acceptance of other people? And maybe you don't care about what the majority of people think about you, but I can guarantee you in your life, you have made great sacrifices to get certain people to think certain ways about you. And there are some people, it doesn't matter what you do. You can throw yourself off the pinnacle of the temple, and it's never going to change the way they think about you. I've had conversations with 70-year-olds who are still trying to please a parent that has been dead for 40 years. Who, even if they were alive for 150 years, would never be satisfied. Our whole economy is built on you watching something or getting an ad on your cell phone or your computer that makes you think you need something. For instance, there's really these really like super duper face masks out there right now. I mean, I don't know, and they're really wasting time with me because, I haven't worn those things that you're supposed to wear, sometimes, and my lungs probably show it, all right, but nonetheless, right? Okay, all right. So, I mean, and it's telling me, it stops everything. It even has a little kind of graphic to show me, like it shows me that, oh, this must work because these little computerized spots don't get through. Right? All right, and I'm not needy, let's say I don't even think I need one or want one, and I actually read the science, which, by the way, not a bad idea. Okay, just for a side, okay? It's probably a good thing to listen to science and medical professionals. Okay? Just put that in your, because that's free. That wasn't even on my notes. That's just free. All right? For your own well-being, listen to people who know what they're talking about. All right. Let's say I didn't think I wanted a mask, okay? And let's say I read the science that says the mask is going to help me. But today I walked into a store and everybody around me has those masks. I'm going to start doubting, right? Okay, all right. What do those scientists know? All right. My neighbor Joe, he's got 3 of them. All right, he must know something, right? See, okay. All right, how many of you ever feel bad about your yard because that one guy in your neighborhood? Maybe you are that guy. If you're that guy, way to make everyone's life miserable, right? Looks like everybody's pointing. We must have all those guys in our church. All right. Now, those things aren't necessarily deadly. But what about body image? What our society is in the body image with boys and girls? My son was talking about a bunch of the lacrosse players who play with lacrosse are all making lots of money now, and they're all miserable. So, all I'm saying is, what Jesus is saying here is that if everything can go with the stream, then only a living thing can go against it. It's G.K. Chester. In other words, Jesus is saying that we're not to tempt God. We're not to let ourselves be defined by other people. And finally, this may be the most insidious one of all, is the temptation of power. I taught at an American Baptist seminary, and they had this program, it was the West Virginia Extension. And now when I taught up in Philadelphia, lots of very diverse students' background. But in the West Virginia Extension, they were all Baptists. And I was giving lectures on church history. And one But he said, can I talk to you, Professor? I said, sure. Because I'd like to turn my church into a Presbyterian church. And I go, and why? You're a Baptist. And this is what he actually said. He said, because I want them to listen to what I have to say. And I just laughed at this. So therefore, you know nothing about the Presbyterian church. Right? But it's interesting. He wanted church to listen to him. That was his biggest concern. And the temptation to power can come from a lot of different ways. Albert Einstein one time said, the attempt to combine wisdom and power has only rarely been successful, and then only for a short while. Power tends to corrupt even good people. Even people who have character power, really bad things happen. And we don't have to think on a macro level, really, right? Each of us have been scarred by the misuse of power by somebody we trusted. All of us have suffered at one point from the abuse of power by a teacher, by a boss, by a loved one. And that abuse of power doesn't even have to be something so heinous, right? I mean, we think of all kinds of horrible things that can happen. But someone abuses their power with words. We all carry words in our minds and in our souls that people have said against us. And guess what? All of us have said things we can't take back. One can use power in an overt way, but one can use power by withholding as well. I once had church with two brothers that hadn't spoken to each other for I don't know how long. And but they weren't overtly trying to hurt each other, they were just withholding from each other. How much time? And guess what? They couldn't even remember what the original fight was about. It was no longer about right or wrong, it was about who was going to hold the power. And Jesus says no. I mean, at some levels, the misuse of power is always bending the knee to the devil. Whether it be in the highest halls of governmental power, whether it be in institutions, whether it be on boards of directors, or whether it be on the playground. Jesus, his whole life was a reflection of showing us that power is not something to be dwelled in, but it is to be renounced. The author, Jamie Wise, said, he offered her power, money, status, a giant prison, all in exchange for only her soul. Lent is about being free. Lent is remembering that we're just not put here for things. Trust me, there's nothing this world could take with you. You came in with nothing, that's how we go out. So whatever lasts has nothing to do with your stuff. Status. Do we really want to give other people that kind of power? There's only one person in the world and out of the world that matters. If God is for you, who can be against you? If God loves you, if you're the child of God, it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks about you. story in Corrie ten Boom where she's about 6 or 7 years old and she wants to know where babies come from. And she goes up and asks her dad, where do babies come from? And he says to her, go lift my briefcase. So she walks over, she can't pick it up. He smiles at her and goes, that knowledge is too heavy for you right now. But there'll be a day when you can carry it, I'll give it to you. It's not that God wants to keep knowledge from us. It's not that God wants to keep power from us. It's not that God wants to keep things from us. It's that God wants us to have the opportunity to use our freedom properly. That's really what Lent is about. Find a way to use the freedom you've been given under grace